My name is Adam, and in this video, we are going to look at the 5 closest presidential elections. Number 5, the election of 1960, because John F. Kennedy is a mostly beloved president today. A bunch of people forget just how close the 1960 election was. Richard Nixon could have won this one. One example of how close this one was, well, in Nixon's home state of California, Kennedy appeared to win by 37,000 votes. But after absentee ballots were counted a week later, Nixon came back to win the state by 36,000 votes. The election results was 303 to 219, but that was incredibly misleading. There were 14 swing states in this one, meaning they were states that were competitive. Being such a close election, many of Nixon's supporters told him to challenge the results. Each side accused the other side of stuffing ballot boxes, especially in Illinois. In Hawaii, Kennedy beat Nixon by 115 electoral votes. In Kennedy's home state of Massachusetts, Kennedy beat Nixon by 3,600 votes. This was the first election in which a candidate wins, even though they carry fewer states than the other candidate. Number 4, the election of 1880. This was the 4th highest in history. James Garfield won, getting 214 electoral votes, and his main opponent, Winfield Scott Hancock, only received 155 electoral votes. But like with the election of 1960, the electoral votes was deceiving. Sure, there was a lot of violence. Virginia's voters voted too late. Massachusetts voters were all like fighting with each other and stuff. In Ohio, Garfield beat Hancock by just 155 electoral votes. Number 3, the election of 1884. This was a nasty election in terms of campaigning. In a very high turnout, Grover Cleveland won, getting 219 electoral votes, and his main opponent, James Blaine, got only 182. In Cleveland's home state of New York, Cleveland beat Blaine by just 1,452 electoral votes, and if he would have lost that election, well, that state, he would have lost the entire election. Blaine conceded the election fairly quickly, but his supporters did not. Number 2, the election of 2000. Well, Al Gore won the popular vote. Gore got 543,895 more votes than Bush, but that doesn't matter. Bush won the electoral votes, but only by 5, which all came down to the electoral votes of one state, Florida. Because it was so close, Florida law said there'll have to be a mandatory recount in the state. After the recount, it was even closer. Now Bush's lead was just 326. After another recount, Bush's lead went back up to 557. But because Gore thought the recounts were rushed, he sued Secretary of State Kathleen Harris. Number 1, the election of 1876. Rutherford Hayes won, but he was incredibly lucky to win. He won by just one single vote over his main opponent, Samuel Tilden. It was 185 to 184 electoral votes, and Samuel Tilden actually won the popular vote in a measly 50.7% to Hayes's 49.4%. In North Carolina, there was a lot of violence. Also in North Carolina, Democrats straight up murdered 151 American Republicans, African American Republicans to be exact, over the results. Not only that, but both candidates refused to secede. There were 5 U.S. representatives, 5 members of Congress, and 5 speakers of the House. And then there was David Davis, the 5th Supreme Court Justice. He was an independent. Democrats in the Illinois legislature elected Davis to the House of Representatives in hopes that Davis would support Tilden, but then Davis backfired himself on the commercial, and then David was replaced by Justice Joseph Bradley, someone more aligned with the Republicans, and he would vote with them. Bradley's tie broke the tie along party lines and, in an 8-7 ruling, decided to award the disputes to Hayes. Of course, this made so many people very angry that some talk about starting a second civil war. To make the Democrats happy, the Republicans made to withdraw all federal troops from the South, which famously became known as the Compromise of 1877. So there you have it. Those were the 5 closest elections in American history. Don't forget to like and subscribe.